What's going on, Jerome? So, of course, Justin Jefferson is the wide receiver one in the league. Now he's a Netflix star, future international superstar, and face of the league, face of the franchise, all that stuff. But if you think about it, before the 2023 season, where the Vikings had that gong show at quarterback, basically the previous 5 years, 2018 to 2022, he'd had two quarterbacks, Jumpin' Joe Burrow with the LSU Tigers for 2 seasons, and then Kirk Cousins for 3. So you have one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League, and then you have Joe Burrow. Nailed it. But even though the Vikings, it's been real, it's been fun with Kirk Cousins. Like, he left to, and Steve Miller Band took the money and ran. And Justin Jefferson now is going to have to find himself a new quarterback. And he talked about that on the Rich Eisen show this week. And basically, JJ's like, hey, I got love and respect for Kirk Cousins, but next man up. Quote, it's on to the next one, on to the next one. It doesn't really matter what quarterback it is. In my eyes, I'm always going to try and make the best of the opportunity. I'm always going to be the quarterback's friend and make his job a lot easier. So it doesn't matter if it was Kirk or it was Sam or if it's JJ. I'm going to make it as easy as possible for them. And over 4 seasons, Jefferson averaged 98.85 yards per game, over 54 tilts with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Also, Jefferson is the NFL's career leader in yards per game. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? In the other 6 contests, receiver played with a different quarterback. He averaged 93.5 yards per game, which is pretty similar. Jefferson is one of the few quarterback-proof players in the NFL, which makes his measured response to Cousins' departure relatable. And talk about those other quarterbacks. So basically, you had Josh Dobbs in the Raiders game. Didn't quite work out. But then he had 3 starts with Nick Mullins. Well, 3.5 games with Nick Mullins because Jaron Hall started the first half against the Greasy Graham and Green Bay Packers. But the last 4 games of last year, even though you had sort of spotty quarterback play, Jefferson got double-digit targets in all of them because, Nick Mullins isn't stupid. He knows where his bread's going to be buttered. And Jefferson put up 7 for 84 against the Bengals, 6 for $141, and a touchdown against the Lions. Then, of course, to end the season, 12 for $192 and a touchdown. Jerry Jacobs is still just like, what the hell happened? It's basically it, man. So you could make a very good case that Jefferson is quarterback proof. And I think that is a popular topic right now, especially amongst fantasy football people. So obviously they look at Jefferson's situation with Kevin O'Connell, but also they look at the quarterback. And some analysts say, hey, JJ's number 1 no matter what. Respect. And some say, maybe he's 2 or 3. Maybe he's behind Tyreek or Jamar Chase just because of the quarterback situation. I understand it. I don't agree with it because I think that JJ is going to get the targets no matter what. All right, no matter who's the quarterback. I think that he really is a modern-day Larry Fitzgerald because even though you remember, like, he had the ass end of Kurt Warner's career. Actually, he is a Kurt. Went to the Super Bowl. And, all right, so Larry Fitzgerald's 2008 playoff run, legendary. And if the Cardinals had held on, like, if Santonio Holmes, like, his arms were, like, a quarter inch shorter, Larry Fitzgerald would have been Super Bowl MVP. Because he had the go-ahead touchdown at the end, just running up the middle of the field. Anyways, but so he had Kurt Warner at the end of his career. He had Carson Palmer for a stretch too with Bruce Arians towards the end of Larry's career. But you forget, Larry Fitzgerald played with nobodies. Right, so Warner and Palmer up at the top, and that isn't even necessarily longevity. They actually didn't even play together for that long, but they just put up numbers because they're competent quarterbacks. Josh McCown is number 3. No, of course, yeah, that was Nathan Poole, not Larry Fitzgerald. They actually drafted Fitz the year after, but yeah, McCown. When McCown has tossed you the 3rd most touchdowns in your career, I don't know. Then John Skelton, Josh Rosen, the chosen one, Kyler Murray, Kevin Cobb, Matt Leinart, Derek Anderson. I take this poop really seriously. Drew Stanton, Blaine Gabbert, Sean King, the pride of Tulane, Richard Bartell. That's a made-up name. That's a witness protection name. Richie Bartell, Max Hall, the pride of BYU, Brian St. Pierre, Boston College, and John Navarre is also a made-up name. Actually, I love John Navarre. Like, he's the guitarist for Jane's Addiction, right? Something like that. Because, Larry Fitzgerald doesn't get enough credit because I mean, Randy Moss obviously was in some good situations with Tom Brady for a couple of years. Jerry Rice obviously had Joe Montana, Steve Young, and then he had Rich Gannon with the Raiders, who was league MVP in 2002. But Larry Fitzgerald had nobody's throwing to him throughout his career, and he was always towards the top of the pile. So Jefferson is going to be cut from a similar cloth. And I love what JJ said. What Jets said. Whether it's McCarthy, whether it's Darnold, he's going to be there for the guy. And McCarthy, basically in Jefferson's ear as their lockers are next to each other, just wanting to learn how to be great, wanting to learn how to be able to the preferences for Jefferson, being able to build that chemistry, be able to basically just be on the same page without even thinking. That will take some time, but I think it's going to happen very, very quickly. Like, honestly, even though, like I said, I think Darnold is a prohibitive favorite to be the guy this year, and Jefferson will put up numbers with Sam Darnold, and he'll be Sam Darnold's best friend. Obviously, the future is JJ to JJ. I think that is what it's going to be, and until then, Jefferson is quarterback proof. I've said this a lot. Like, hey, I could be out there left-handed, and Jefferson would still have a 1,000-yard season, maybe even 1,500, maybe even flirt with Jets 2K. Who knows, man? But your thoughts are thoughts. Is Justin Jefferson quarterback proof? Yes. Yes, he is. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the vet. Oh, Nerve Turner. Skull production value.